Greetings from a weather station in Antarctica. It almost feels like that. It's funny. Here all day, not doing heavy labor. It's more checking in cars and fiddling around up here, weeding and stuff like that. Goof off at the end of the day, about 10 p.m. Can close the gates and watch a scary movie. My wife and I both like horror movies. Go to sleep and then start the day over again. Kind of like Groundhog Day, if you've seen that movie with Bill Murray. Awesome movie. Love it. What else? My mind is, I'm not awake yet. I need to drink more coffee. And then work on the monthly report here because I have to give my report to the board tomorrow. Drop off some money from the gate fees and donations. It is what it is. It's nice. The mornings during the week before the 4th of July aren't too busy, so I have time to wake up, get ready, do garden work. One of my employees took Spanish for 3 years, so she's on a school trip to Spain for 10 days, so I won't see her for a while. Another employee, very part-time, does mostly computer work, did a great job in a newsletter. Kate really did a great job in a newsletter. She doesn't watch this, but spreading this around the world that Katie did is an awesome newsletter person. My other employee will be here tomorrow. Still working a little bit part-time. And so that is where it is. Anyway, slap. It's PEC polymer, peanut scale, parasol winged, a little model airplane. The one I was inquiring to you about what gear I would use to do RC, and I have to tell you, I have a hard time wrapping my mind around something this small being radio controlled. Now I've seen smaller ones. One P-51 Mustang that was smaller than this had a 7-channel radio. The thing had flaps. It had retractable landing gear. I'm just not that savvy. There we are. View of the engine and the radiator. Standoff scale, which kind of means that it's a scale bird if you stand way far away because the detail isn't up there with like a fine scale model. But nice little dealie. The second one I built. The first one I also just did it rubber band, and the thing actually flies really nice. And so PEC polymer produces really nice kits. Isn't that a nice little bird? I use, for those of you into sticking tissue, Elmer's glue for everything. The plain stuff, not the amateur Elmer's glue for students, but the professional, regular Elmer's glue. To do the airframe, I watered the glue down a little bit just to make it lighter, because you know, with these things, you have to be concerned with weight. And even for putting the tissue on, I use Elmer's glue. I've used nitrate dope before, butyrate for gas-powered things, but nitrate doesn't keep shrinking the tissue forever like butyrate would do. And then these small things, warping the surfaces by shrinking is a concern. And I haven't water shrunk this. I'm just going to put 2 thin coats of nitrate clear dope on it if I can find it. You know, some of this stuff is went the way of the dinosaurs, but I'm pretty sure that this SIG still makes nitrate dope. I might have a bottle that's been sitting around for 25 years, so I better search. Not going to be RC on this one. I actually purchased this kit, the Carl Goldberg Viking, and this is probably older than a lot of you. This is a 40-year-old kit, high thrust, which means it's designed to go straight up and then glide forever until the thermalizer kicks in. And the thermalizer is a mechanism either with a fuse, a light, that snaps a rubber band, or has a timer where the horizontal stabilizer will kick up and they'll come out of the thermals like a parachute, because this is one heck of a glider. I built one before, powered it with a baby 049 and had a single channel Ace Commander pulse proportional radio on it. God, there's a lot of P's. It's just tough to say, tongue twisters. And beautiful flying plane. Flying stabilizer, which means the center of gravity is back. It's technical stuff, but yeah, it's a heck of a flyer. Gosh, I'm not going to tie you up too much. Moaning about needing more coffee because I'm not awake yet. Not complaining. I'm really lucky to be here. Beautiful place. I enjoy my job. It just tires me to some degree for a while. Once I get my employees all set and they're all here and not in Spain, rest up, leave, maybe go ride my unicycle on other trails or something like that. But that is that. That is that. No other words of wisdom. I hope you're all doing fine. Appreciate your viewership. Give you one last look at the whole air camper. This is actually what I credit for getting into bows. Because when you think about it, the fine motor skills, working at something a little bit at a time until you get the finished product, it all relates to bows. I consider this cross training for making bows. If you can build one of these things, you can make a bow. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Great movie. There we go. A little shaky, but it's just because I need rest. There we go. Nice little model. I'm going to make a little distributor though, so I can put spark plug wires on that baby. The real plane, it was a kit plane. I think it started in 1928 or something like that. You could buy a kit for these things. Plug a Model A engine into it. So this is a model of a Model A. Oh, I didn't. Look at that tricky exhaust system. Ooh, made out of balsa wood and colored with a Sharpie. It had a radiator, which that was the placement of the radiator. And so you can see it's directly in front of the pilot, so you'd have to look around to see where you were going. That's funny. On some of the World War I planes, they'd have the radiators on the top of the wing, underneath it, or something like that, because visibility was the key to being a fighter pilot. So I assume. But, you know, it's kind of funny. Oh, okay. How about this? It amazes me, this is a thinker for today, how somebody within their life can see, like, drastic changes. My mom said that my grandpa, whenever they would hear a flying machine, that's what he called them, flying machines, flying over their house in Wisconsin, he would run outside and point to the sky, flying machine, flying machine. And he was born in the very late 1800s. And it's so cool to think that in his lifespan, he went from seeing, like, the first flying machines to rockets. That's something. And so what technology are we seeing? We're seeing, like, the birth of the computer. Do you remember slide rules? We used to use slide rules. When I was in math in high school, we were beyond the slide rule year, really, but there was a couple of us that brought slide rules to schools and used them, which, by the way, I think is better than what they're doing now, giving every grade school kid an iPad and you just plug in the numbers and everything is done for you. Slide rules were a beautiful way of, like, learning how to estimate, because you had to estimate when you used a slide rule. They were worked off of logarithms, various ones depending on, you know, the slide rule and the complexity of them. But you learned how to estimate. You also understood logarithms. Wow, how did I go from airplanes to slide rules? Fell off that cliff. That's all. That is all. See you later.